Happy New Year, or at least almost Happy New Year. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you taking the time to just come and listen and sit. This is my last video for 2020. Hallelujah, right? I can't say that it's been a terrible year for our family, but I do know that some had kind of a rough time. So I want to just kind of wrap up 2020 here and share some insights from the year that in the last week I've taken time to kind of contemplate. Okay. First off, if you're watching this, that means you're still alive. That means that you have been blessed with life here on this earth, and you are trudging ahead, and you're marching through the mud. It has definitely been an interesting year, to say the least. I don't know if a single person that hasn't had some sort of effect of some kind as a result of this thing. We won't name it, but we know. I watched, excuse me, a little hanging on there. I watched a lot of people go through quite a bit this year, and I think the only thing that kept me sane and not getting caught up in the fuss and in the worry it was staying in the Word, praying, trusting God. I think that was the biggest thing that God really taught me this year, was just to trust Him. I'm a female, obviously, and I'm a fixer, and I'm a planner, and I want to have everything planned out just so, and it just never happens that way. And so this year was definitely a testament to that I can't control things. I just can't. And so, this year was definitely a difficult one on that front. I had to definitely put a lot of faith in God that He was going to get us through this. He promised me back in March that this thing would not negatively impact our family, and it was true. I mean, God stayed true to His word, and we did have the virus come through here at least once, back in January and March, first of the year, before people even knew about it, or January and February, before people really even knew what was going on. It may have come through again and hit the rest of us here at Thanksgiving, but through it all, our praise the Lord, our finances were never affected. Our lives were never truly in danger, even though we have 2 asthmatics in the house. I know that that's been a big concern for us. But, when God says, trust me, we got to do that. It's very hard outside of human nature to do that. So it definitely took a lot of willpower to just say, yes, Lord, I trust you. I've said it my whole life. I've been a believer since I was a kid. But this year it really went to the test. And every time I began to doubt what God was doing, this little voice would say, now what did I tell you? Did I not tell you I would take care of this? I have a plan. You're going to be okay. Trust me. And so that's kind of what this year has taught me. In books, okay, I know that this is why you guys follow me for the most part anyway. So this year has been quite a banner year as far as my writing. I can't believe the journey God has put me on. It started a year ago, or back in 2019, and it has just blossomed. And being able to work with such knowledgeable writers, including I'm not going to say idol because I never idolized her, but someone whose writing I truly admired, and her work ethic. I don't know if she's a workaholic or if she's just always the characters are always talking to her. I don't know, but she's a machine. But to be able to work with some of these amazing authors and the publishing group over there at Celebrate Lit has been a total blessing. I have projects that I'm plotting out right now, kind of doing a little research on the side when I'm working on writing for the Independence Island series, so that when that's done, I can start writing on other things and maybe even pitch my War Widows series that I've been plotting for the last 6 years. I'm nervous to do that one. Finally give that to them and just to the people at Celebrate Lit and see what they think. So it should be exciting. As far as Back Porch Reads, my little review blog over there, there are a couple of books that I want to mention that I really think, if they haven't already been on your to be read list for 2020, you should add them for 2021. So my favorite new to me author, okay, that I discovered in 2020, and this is not because we are part of the Independence Island series, but because I do love a good Regency. I like Jane Austen. I don't understand Jane a lick, okay? At least not the books. Like, to read it, it requires more brain power than I actually have at 9 o'clock at night when everybody's asleep, and I've been writing half the day, and I'm like, okay. So, but Carolyn Miller, the little Aussie that I'm working with on the Scrumptious Independence series, I read The Elusive Miss Ellison this year, and I fell in love. I love the way she writes. It's Jane-esque without the hidden meanings for everything. She does it, but I can grasp it at 9 o'clock at night when I'm trying to read. So, bravo. I will never not read a Carolyn Miller book again. So there's that. My favorite, now I read, if you look at my Back Porch Reads archives over on my website, I read a lot of mystery this year, or suspense, especially the True Color series, which I just love. I love that series. It's just enough mystery to keep you wrapped in. But one complaint, just one, and I get it. It's titled as Christian Historical Suspense. I get it. But if you're throwing a couple in there, I want to feel their connection. I'm just saying, okay? I want to feel this. I want to see the attraction start. And it doesn't take much to put it in there, guys. It really doesn't. But to just tell me that they were feeling feelings, and there's no, you don't read the stirring words. Those of you that read romance or write it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's certain words that if an author uses them, you know that something is starting to stir in our character's heart. And so just little bits of those, guys, not a lot. I don't want it to be enough though it's a romance, but that would be nice. But anyway, I digress. We're talking about mystery and suspense. And the book that just knocked my socks off was, I'm going to say it wrong, The Haunting at Bienvenue Circus by Jamie Jo Wright. Holy cow! That was awesome. And it was, I just didn't want to put it down. Again, if it wasn't on your list, get it there, okay? It was very, I think I put it in my review, it was very Phantom of the Opera like story. And I love that story. I know it's kind of twisted, but so is this. I mean, this girl, there's been this figure that's been a part of her life ever since she was put on the ringmaster or the ringmaster or the circus owner's doorstep, and he taunts her and he haunts her, and he just does despicable stuff to get her attention. And even the time hopping really wasn't that bad. Jamie did a wonderful job. Of course she did. It's Jamie Jo Wright, right? But she just did a wonderful job at helping me, again, at 9 o'clock in the evening, be able to focus and to pay attention. So that was my favorite mystery of the year. I only read one book that was nonfiction. I don't read nonfiction, okay? Not typically. But I was very interested in, I've heard about this for years, the Azusa Street Revival. I've heard about it. I've been a believer since my whole life. I always hear about it. And everybody's like, oh yeah, that's great. I am glad. It is definitely proof that you may not agree with the theological ideas of a particular denomination, but if it wins souls, people, God can use it. If he can use animals and he can use prostitutes, he can use whoever and whatever he wants to get a hold of people and draw them to him. So I may not have agreed with every single practice of Mr. William Seymour, but God used him, and I can't say anything. So that one was kind of an interesting read. His sermons were pretty good. I don't know that I would sit through them now, but you never know, right? Okay, so time for my favorite book of the year. I know everybody's doing it, and so why not, right? Okay, so my favorite book of the year. I'm trying to find the it's a historical. It's kind of suspenseful. It has romance. It has adventure. I definitely felt like I was traipsing across traipsing across Europe and France. I was just, Europe and France. And being in the middle of France during the Nazi occupation, I've always been very fascinated by that time. Not because of what happened, but when I was in high school, we did the play Diary of Anne Frank. And it was such an impactful experience that now, anytime that I see this, sees a book or something based on this, I'd like to read it. So my favorite book of the year was The Socialite by Janelle Selesky. I hope I got that right. I'm really bad at pronouncing names, especially if I've never heard them before. I read this back in May and June, and it it has stayed with me. The visuals, the glamour, the fakery of the Nazi occupation was just and it definitely left me on my seat, on the edge of my seat. I really was. When our main character, I can't think of her name right now, I've got it right here in front of me, but when Kat looks, I think it's Kat. The review was very, very long. Yep, Kat. When she looks in the face of Adolf Hitler, it was like I was looking in his face. And because Janelle, she used such vivid word pictures that I was looking evil right in the face with her. And that's something, guys. That's something that when an author can make you see it and feel it. I could feel Kat's anger towards this man. And I don't blame him one bit. I don't blame her one bit, because especially when she starts seeing what's unfolding and what he's doing, and the fact that he hid it from the world for so long. Now, we've discovered that we do have kind of a connection to this time in history. Our family does. Part of his family left Romania and Germany or Romania and Austria just before Hitler, just as Hitler was coming into power. They were gypsies, but and she references just the Jews. Okay, ignore the face that I just made. There's a point I'm trying to get to. But we discovered that some of my husband's family were gypsies, which explains so much because he's such a wanderer. But anyway, it was so, having that connection to those people in that way made a story like The Socialite even more personal. My family possibly has some Jewish background. I don't know. But I do know that there's quite a few Jewish names in there, so I don't know yet. Ancestry DNA, here we come. But it made it definitely more personal, and I like, oh, let me at him. I want to rip his face off. So anyway, I've carried on long enough. I appreciate that you guys have been here. 2020, for some, I'm sorry if it was a rough year for a lot of you. It was a difficult year here, but not because of the virus. We had 2 losses here at the end of the year that were very difficult for our household to go through. But, and I'll just leave you with this, there is something beautiful knowing that because of the salvation of Jesus Christ, because of the sacrifice that Christ made, I will get to see these people again. And I can't be disappointed in that. To go to a funeral service and it's more of a celebration, and there's worship, and it's just beautiful, and there's laughter and jokes. It's just the most perfect thing in the world. So I hope and pray that you all are blessed abundantly in 2021. That God looks favorably upon you, even in the middle of a trial. He doesn't promise that he's going to keep us from hurting. He doesn't promise that life is going to be easy. He promises that he'll stand with us and that he'll be there with us as we trudge through the trenches and stay faithful. Stay faithful, believers, okay? I love you. Have a happy new year.